Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Buckeyes of all ages, you are now tuning into the Boomcast. Introducing first, it's your host, NFL vet, Buckeye legend, Daniel Boom Herron. Accompanying him is the Boom Squad. First up, from the presidential penthouse, we got former coal miner, fitness industry expert, Mr. Corey Gregory. Over here at the Tyler Sports Zone, we have Athens' very own Tyler Treadway. Then we got Philo's very own Mr. Tyler C. Lever. And then, of course, here's the doghouse. I'm the graphic gangster Cole Susak. To my right is the king of Web3 Trayvon the Air. And you are now tuning in to the Boomcast. The Boomcast is brought to you by Max for Muscle and Sam Adams Beer. Let's go to the show.
Welcome to another episode of the Boomcast. That is the Boom Squad, and this is Daniel Boom Herron. I'm your boy Corey G. We lost to the team up north, 30-24. We're gonna start with Boom's initial thoughts.
Yes.
Where should I start?
Well, first,
Boom,
go ahead.
Yeah,
Cole.
Boom. Right after the game, you said, when the hell we podcasting? Because I got some stuff to get off my chest.
Yeah.
So, what was your initial reaction just watching the game? Like, what were you thinking while it was happening?
I mean, overall, we didn't play terrible. I mean, to go on the road and obviously you want to get a win, but to lose by 6 points, we lost, so that's a big deal. My thing is, with Ohio State, we got to change a lot of things. All this fucking dancing and shit before the game.
Bro, it's so bad.
Like, stop that shit.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I don't know what the fuck Soul Train line, whatever the fuck they got going on. I'm sorry, but that ain't nothing that we was doing when I was coming up. They weren't doing that when Tress was there. I'm not sure if they did it when Urban was there or not. But it just seems like that's
It is out of place right now anyway.
It's out of place. Yeah. Now if they winning,
Different.
you know what I'm saying, and y'all balling, y'all taking care of business, then okay, I can see you could have a little bit of fun. But it just seems like the guys need to lock in a little bit more. It's a number of things that I can go on and on about
Felt a
the
little
game.
juiceless.
Yeah.
But there's changes that have to be made, and I'm not gonna sit here and say we got to fire Ryan Day, off the rip, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that's what they're going to say, but at the same time we have to look at the big picture and see what the real issue is. At the end of the day, players have to make plays too. Mm-hmm. The quarterback has to play well as well. You know what I'm saying? The defense has to. Can't miss tackles in the open field. You can't. I don't know if y'all the one touchdown on number 25.
Yep.
I mean, the ball went right past his face. That could have easily been an interception.
Yep.
There's multiple things I could talk about during this game, but yeah, man, we just got to make a lot of changes. We got to bounce back.
We just feel flat.
We
feel flat.
It's almost like we didn't win a game at all this year. That's how it feels.
It felt like we were winning games, but you still didn't fully believe it all the way.
Yeah.
Like it was never a domination. You always felt like there was still something missing.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire thing, and I in my mind, I think it was just came down to fucking Michigan wanted it more. I think.
I mean,
like they had like something to play for. And usually with like Urban's teams and Tressel's teams, there was like an intensity to it.
Yep.
Like you could tell like they really wanted it.
There's no fire. It's like there's no fire under them.
Yeah.
It's just like they're there. And then you got a quarterback making comments like it's just another game. Like
No, it
what?
ain't.
What?
No, it ain't. You can't say
Is that what he
man.
said?
He said that in an interview. We can bring it up.
Yeah.
You know, crazy thing though. Even like
Damn.
last year, I think Stroud said that too at one point.
Yeah. You
And-
see what his record is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that comes.
Damn.
It does come back to the culture, because obviously I've been saying it. The team is going to follow the energy and how the head coach operates.
Yep.
Right. And with Urban had some like gang type edge mentality
He
and
did.
shit to him. Tressel had the the high professional intensity to him, but there was something there. With Ryan Day, it's always felt like he's trying to play it like cool, right? So the players start to feel that way, like
Comfortable.
Like he's trying to be their
I
friend.
always
or something.
said anytime I came or was around Tress, I was uncomfortable. like, but in a way that it was making me better. if
You
that
said
makes
you
sense.
still like that.
Oh yeah,
You feel like you got to
absolutely.
be prepared to have a conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
and I just don't feel Ryan Day puts that fear in them yet.
Yeah.
At least, you know what I'm saying. I
Command that type
mean,
of
it's
presence.
been a couple years, but it's just got to be some change.
What I can't stand hearing is when the Michigan players are talking about, well, these dudes has got the Louis V on, dancing, acting hard,
Acting
but
like
they
they're hard,
ain't
but they're
even
not.
tough.
Said you
And
were,
we
yeah.
basically they just bullied us.
Yeah.
Sure look
And
that
now,
way.
right? And so it leaves you thinking like, well, how do you change that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes down to a culture thing. But honestly, like, dude, if you look at the stats, like, we got the stats right in front
Yeah.
of us. All these stats are very similar.
They're
Like,
real
we
similar.
outgained them in total yards, had more passing yards. They outbeat us on rushing yards, but not by that much. Yards per play were over a yard on them. But the big thing is, it comes back to them just wanting it more is the stat that sticks out in my eyes, the fourth down efficiency. Michigan went 3 for 3. Ohio State didn't go for it on fourth down one time.
That shows playing to win versus playing to lose and lining up and literally just taking what you want.
Another big thing is the turnover margin.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
turnover margin and special teams. I mean,
Yep.
we missed a field goal, which is we probably shouldn't have never even been going for that field goal.
That
Yep.
was a stretch.
That was another thing. In games like this, you have to take your chances. On the 4th and 1, you got to run the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and they
That's what
did.
they did.
Did he get out
And they
coached by an
scored. You know?
assistant?
And they scored. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, is that the real question, Boom?
Did he get out coached?
By an assistant?
He lost the game, so I mean,
Dude, but it's probably ingrained in those players where, like, it's on fourth down. They're running to the sideline saying, let's fucking go for it. Like, we can get this shit. Let's just keep going after it. Where those players probably ran over to Ryan Day like, all right, coach, are we kicking the field goal? Are we just going to take the points, or are we going to try to score? That might be – like, it's just that small difference maker in, like, mindset.
You're right. Because I kept saying, I was like, they ain't going to go for it. They ain't going
Yeah.
to go for it.
It
And
was-
then Michigan was ready, and they got it.
It was almost like I felt Ryan Day and that team knew, hey, we're going to keep playing our game, and eventually things are going to work out. Michigan said, we got to fucking take this game.
Yeah.
That's how I felt watching it.
They grabbed a hold of it.
Yes.
So, being a Ohio State anti-fan, I just want to say I thought the officiating was terrible. Like the officiating from it, like I took Ohio State money line, so I was somewhat of an Ohio State fan that day. Was awful. The interception touchdown call in the end zone was
Yeah.
awful. Them not like since when do we not spot the ball? Like we don't measure anymore. Like what do you have the chains for? Like there were two of those fourth downs. The one might have been a third down when McCarthy ran the ball. Clearly steps out a yard shy of the first down, and they just give it to him. They don't even bring out the chains. When Corum dives over, it's controversial, but like we're just not even measuring anymore. And then the interception, like I'm sitting there all day. Like we've seen that call go the other way so many times where it's an interception, and they call it a touchdown. That's the difference in the game. So, as doom and gloom as Ohio State fans make it want to be, like everything was stacked up against them.
Yeah.
The margin here is razor thin. Like, Cole's already
Which is
been
why
over
you got to
some
go
of these.
fucking take it.
Of course, they just overall they outgained them. I heard an interesting stat about some of these, like just the one stat alone. Like you can't help it when you throw these 2 interceptions, right? But like even though Buckeyes outgained them totally in total offense, total plays were about the same. They had a better third down efficiency, which kept those drives going. They had more first downs, but even though Buckeyes had all these totals, if you don't look at those 2 interceptions, which obviously mattered, in this game, whoever had the higher rushing yards has won every single time, I think, except for maybe one game total. So whoever wins the run game, they win the game. And so that happened.
and that's another thing. I felt like we were running the ball pretty good,
Yeah.
and then we got away from it, and it's just like, what are we doing? So I didn't understand that either. I mean, like I said, so many things we could.
You know what I like about it, though, is that everyone was on the edge of their seat. It was a build-up game. It was a 2 versus 3. There's all these storylines. Like it had – because there was years that it didn't feel like that much of a rivalry.
Oh, it's back.
It's back.
Yeah.
So
but
what-
we have to respond. So what, to your point, Boom, what has to change, though? Like, what's one or two key things that have to change
Well,
for us not to keep talking like this?
I think one of the main things is we got to remember where our guys come from. We got to get back into recruiting the guys from Ohio and making sure that we got Ohio on lock. Because if you think about it, you look at their roster, they have a lot of guys. The guy that got the game-winning interception, he's from Ohio. He's an hour away from Columbus, and he never got a scholarship from Ohio State.
So
And
then
he
what's
talked about that after the game,
Yep.
where
There's a revenge, too, on top
there's
of it.
revenge of these guys never looked my way. They never offered me. So I'm going to go to Michigan. And now he can come back to Columbus
Talk
the
that talk.
rest of his life
And he's just going like
and
this.
say, hey, I got 3 wins against y'all. I don't care what y'all say. It's the same thing I say all the time. I got 4 wins against y'all. I got 4 pair of gold pants. Y'all can talk crazy all y'all want. I got my jewelry. I got my gold pants. But being, it's like I'm a fan now. So it's like when people talk trash, it's like you gotta take it on the chin. You know, you gotta take it on the chin. It's like,
Especially when you actually live in that state.
yeah.
Well,
You come back down. But
yeah, but I mean, even with like Urban's teams, like he's recruiting guys from all over, but like he set the standard of like we fucking hate these guys.
Well, like this
Yeah.
is why
like
you're
we
here.
truly like hate them. We
Yeah.
don't we don't even respect them honestly
Yeah.
to a point that we hate them.
We
so
really
much.
shouldn't with all the cheating bullshit on top of it.
You know what I mean?
They should have felt some kind of way on that.
Yeah.
Man.
I would have thought, how am I going to allow this to happen with all of this noise and the fours and all, like, and we're going to then let that happen? I would have been beside myself at halftime if I'm a leader in that locker room.
Yeah, then what I hear,
Right.
what I hear from
Yes.
nobody, like the locker room at halftime was quiet.
What?
I heard Laurinaitis spoke up and Sawyer spoke up, but other than that, it was just like quiet. Nobody was really saying anything. Wasn't a lot of communication. I mean, I could be wrong. This is just something that I heard. But if that's the case, then again, changes have to be made.
An
There's
urban,
no way.
an urban locker room would have never been like that.
Man, trust locker
Trust
room,
would have never been like that.
no.
And that's what Urban used to say, like the ultimate difference in our teams is like the leadership. Like there was so many leaders on that team and they would step up, they would be vocal, they'd step up because they knew how much it meant. With this team, like you didn't know.
There's no leaders.
And it doesn't help whenever your quarterback is
He ain't a leader.
You see some of
You
these
know?
videos though. You talk about the leadership, and so you can look at if it's a 5-star, if it's this dude, if it's the one with the highest stats. It ain't always about that because it is about the leadership. You look at and you talk about Urban's locker rooms. You look at some of those videos. JT Barrett is in everyone's face at halftime. He's pointing at the
And
fucking
that dude
whiteboard.
is quiet.
Calling
as hell,
people out.
bro.
Exactly,
You
because
know?
he's collected and he's focused on the field,
But
but
he's
in
a
there
leader.
he's looking you in your eyes.
Yeah.
And he's
Too
telling
many-
you like
too many
it's time.
buddy,
It's all of that, right?
I got this NIL deal. I got this car. I mean, to a point, what the guy was saying, it was disrespectful, but at the same time, was he lying?
No,
Our guys walking around with all this stuff on.
It's true.
But I didn't like because he can't say that about Marvin Harrison.
No.
'Cause Marvin Harrison's a baller.
Yeah,
Let me just say that.
yeah.
He's a baller.
He should get the trophy.
And he always shows up.
Yeah.
But for what the guy was basically trying to say is like, y'all getting all this, getting all that, but when we get on the field, we punch y'all in y'all mouth, y'all ain't doing
And you
nothing.
ain't respond.
You ain't
Yep.
responding.
I hate it.
So-
here.
was there any fights this year?
No.
I haven't
Any
really seen
like
nothing.
scrummages or anything like
I
that?
didn't see nothing.
Is that an issue?
They didn't show it on TV, if so.
So like if any of the years that it hurt the most, this one really stung.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know if it's because it was a third time in a row. It was because it was just so close.
'cause
It's
it's
just
a habit.
because everything that's going on at Michigan, I'm even to the point. It's like, fuck all that stuff that's going on. The whole cheating thing, whatever. When you get between the lines and you line up, beat the man across you.
Yeah.
Even if he know what you're doing. It's been times the other team knew what we was doing. We still gonna run it down your throat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they did. Y'all know we.
Hey,
y'all-
they knew they was gonna hand it to you or
You know what I'm
Beatty.
saying?
Just try to stop it.
man, look, come on, man. on.
Marv did say, he's like, man, I don't know what I was looking at, but I haven't seen a coverage matchup like that up until now. He's like, whatever they was doing, like they had their scheme figured out. But
that's coaching.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even if they did have whatever, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to beat the man. You know what I'm saying? And he did that.
yeah,
He did his job. But we had guys out there, you know what I'm saying?
kind of jogging,
Get put on their back, missing tackles in the open field. Like, it's just stuff that's not supposed to happen during that game. Tress always said, getting 1 yard is like getting 3 yards in this game. Missing a tackle is like missing 5 tackles. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that.
It's like
but
multiplied.
that's what I'm. You know what I'm saying? It's everything's multiplied. You know what I'm saying? Getting a first down is like, come on. When you're moving the ball, like it's huge. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like they have to change the culture over there. Get back to our old ways, to the hard nose. Like, can't nobody fuck with us.
Yeah.
All of that. You know what I'm saying? Because what we got going on right now is some soft-ass bullshit.
Doesn't Coach Mick usually represent that, Cole?
I mean,
In the past, I felt like he did alongside
in
Urban.
the past, yeah, but I mean, also like it was all the coaches and the players. Like the players were like that too.
Yeah.
The players aren't like that anymore. And I don't think it's all Ryan Day's like culture issue.
it's not.
But he's
No.
got to take ultimately he's the one that has to take ownership of that entire building, that entire facility, from the head coach to the assistant coach to the GAs to the players to the fucking people in the creative department. All those people got to basically be on edge. Like everyone.
And at the same time, players got to step up. You know what I'm saying? The head coach is the head coach. He does run everything. But at the same time, the players are ones that are
Still got to execute.
executing. They making the plays. They're really the leaders. You know what I'm saying? Speak up. You know what I'm saying? Get challenge each other. You know, demand shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do all that working out during the off season for. You know what I'm saying? When you running sprints, when you doing all that lifting, you know what I'm saying? This what you do it for times like that. You know, during that game. And for them to go out there and, you know, not get the job done, it hurt my heart. I can honestly say I'm hurt. I'm still hurt.
One question, Boom. So, like, the way it's set up, I know it's like in the pros like that, they have different rooms. I'm assuming it's like that in college, too. Doesn't each room essentially have a leader, too? Wouldn't that be where they would step up, and at least with their guys, and go, whoever's, like, if it's Eichenberg, if it's Marv, it's like you rally each one of your groups together and say, look, motherfuckers. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would think, and maybe that was happening, but it doesn't sound like it was.
But it also depends who's coaching those rooms too. What's their energy
Yeah.
like? What are they like? You know.
Yeah.
How much does, just like watching Ohio State play, they always have this dual threat quarterback that's able to kind of make some stuff happen. But, C.J. Stroud was capable. He just chose not to. But how much of, just this whole game plan comes back to Ohio State not having a mobile quarterback? Because Kyle McCord can't run the ball. So you know that you're kind of containing him, and it allows the defense just to kind of sag off. You see a lot of interceptions like that. Like, he just can't really
I
break
think
down
it
defense.
allows more because he's not gonna lace you up too.
They know that the defense.
But-
knows
So
it.
if you're weak on that and you can't run,
You're super one-dimensional.
And he was limped up anyway too.
I don't think I remember one time. Remember him scramble over 10 yards this year, or if am I missing something?
No.
Like
Or did
barely
I
making
miss
it
it?
out of the pocket.
No.
I don't think so. Which is, I mean, that's okay if you're getting it done. Passing the ball, whatever.
that's
whatnot.
my point.
But even on that play, on the last play where he threw that pick, there were other guys
100%.
wide open.
He forced the ball to Marv.
He forced it. And it's almost like, is he not getting the correct coaching as far as reads and things like
Can
that?
he not see it, Boom?
Can he not see it?
I mean, that's what I'm starting.
So you got to question him, but you also got to question his coach. You got to question. It's a lot of things you got to question.
You got to evaluate it all.
You got to evaluate everything. 3 years in a row. We're not saying we're gonna fire somebody, but we're definitely going to figure out where the weak link is.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
hey, and motherfuckers are getting paid.
You know what I'm saying? You're getting paid. Players is getting paid too.
everybody-
Like
getting
now, like things.
And if you ask me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
no.
Let it go.
If you ask me, all the NIL money, all them cars, all that shit got to go until we figure this shit out.
I mean, because at the end of the day, like,
Walk to class, ride the bus.
because
like
the
that.
reality of it is, like, they can ignore the, even if it hurts real bad, and even if it is an Ohio dude, and even if they know that they shouldn't, that they should really pay attention to it and give the heart and focus to it. At the end of the day, if they're like, well, either way, even if I don't tell nobody that I'm thinking this, at the end of the day, even if we lose to Michigan, I still got my car. I still got $1 million.
I still
you know
got
what
$1
I mean?
million.
You
And
know-
they
I
know
think-
that, and it's a base level foundation that they know is like going
That's
to be
true.
there if they fall down. You know,
I think they need to get out of their Columbus ways because they're living in the city and stuff like that. They need to take a trip down the Ohio Valley, get around some
There you go.
some blue collar lunch pail type of guys because that's really like what
Maybe they
Ohio's
need
made
to do
on.
camp at
They-
Warren,
they,
bro.
They need a real taste of like about that. You know?
Like you said,
It's funny
make
you
them
say
walk.
that because Trust used to always make us go to like, we used to always take a bus ride and go to like a random place, and we would practice there for a day or two. I don't know if Ryan Day is doing anything like that with the team, but it's almost like we got to go back to like how Cardell was saying when Urban first came here, nobody was allowed in the locker room.
Nope.
Nobody could wear Ohio State gear.
They had to earn it.
They had to
Yeah.
earn it. If I'm
We
Ryan
might be
Day,
back to that, bro, for
if
real.
I'm Ryan Day, I'm going
Real.
back to that.
Yeah, I would
and
agree
whoever
with
don't
that.
want to be there, whoever can't, whoever can't, get through the workout, whatever or not.
Yep.
somebody
See you
else.
later.
But the thing is, I think everyone in the facility needs to do that. They all need to
I
go through
agree.
that.
Well, like
100%,
you said, man, you're waiting to walk around the corner. It should be you don't want to be scared, but like every corner you walk around, you want to make sure that you're walking around the corner correct because what if you do see coach right there? You want to be,
You'd be on
You
your
want to
shit.
be on pins and needles. Because I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, in the NFL, you on pins and needles. Because you never know.
Everybody's going to get you then.
They got guys coming in every Tuesday working out
Literally every Tuesday,
to
huh?
take your job. So you really, unless you like a first rounder and unless you just got a mean bag, you on the chopping block at all times. So they need to feel that fear now because what's going on right now for us to lose 3 times in a row, which is haven't been done. I think they said it's been over 30-something years since Ohio State has lost to Michigan
Since
3
the
times in a
90s.
row.
Since the 90s. And you know
John
when
Cooper.
Michigan won a natty at the end of that 3-year run.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And being real, if it's a year that they can win it, I think this year is the year.
100%. They're like
Wouldn't
like
that be
they're
some
my
shit?
At least from like a national level, just overarching view of college football in general. I guess at least you could say, well, if that was the Buckeyes' one loss just this season, not to mention the 3 years in a row, it's at least it's like, well, it was to that team right there, Because if this is year they're going to do it,
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, honestly, if Michigan doesn't win the national championship this year, this is all a fucking waste.
Yeah, it sucks.
Seriously, in my mind, it was all a
Still
waste.
sucks.
Like it just.
I mean, it felt that way last year too.
Yep.
You know, for them to, get beat by TCU, and that's supposed to be us to be in the national championship. It's like they stole one from us last year. They
Yep.
stole one from us this year.
Hey, and the margin
know?
was
Yeah,
right
thin.
there still.
It's thin.
Yeah.
We're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, Trey's going to talk. And we're back. All right, Trayvon Dier, talk to me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like with that, we've been questioning this for the past, just few years that Ohio State's been losing. Is Ryan Day the coach? Is Kyle McCord the quarterback? And I think that the reality is that we all got our answer this weekend.
Agreed.
I think that Kyle McCord is just trash. I think that Ryan Day is not making the right play calls out there. I like Cole said too as well. When Ohio State didn't go for the 4th and 1 in the first quarter there,
Pissed.
I knew Ohio State was cooked the whole game.
Yeah.
I knew Ohio State money line was cooked because you just knew that they were playing not to lose. They weren't out there playing to win. You just knew that shit was fried at that point.
After
So
the
I
first
think-
pick, I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
you just I feel like we've been questioning this all year. Is Ohio State the team this year? Is Ohio at this point now, Ohio State just loses to the team up north. That's the reality for the past 3 years.
Ooh.
That's just the reality.
Think about if you were a high schooler.
It's been 3
You-
years.
yeah,
It's been
exactly.
3 years in a row. That's just the reality.
That's all
they
you
just
gotta
lose.
say.
They just lose to the team up north right now. So the court's trash. Ryan Day trash.
'Cause
we got our answers.
Because now it hasn't come down to where you can tell Michigan is fired up, they're hungry, they need this, right? Now it's like they fucking own it. Like that's how it felt.
they do.
Like this solidified. Like, oh, this is our fucking game now.
I feel like they knew it too.
Yes, they were playing like that.
Yeah.
Like, and you like just from our sideline, it didn't feel like that. And that's now got to switch. They have to go in there next season underdog mentality all year. No matter what the fuck their rankings are, they haven't proved anything.
They gotta play pissed off.
Yeah. I think fucking we give Heartline a shot.
Yeah.
The one thing
head
that-
It's
cheat.
Ohio guy, man.
Like, I notice it from like a coaching standpoint is your players have to have something or somebody to believe in. And as stupid and as made up as the Michigan, like the fours and the we're doing this for Coach Harbaugh, Michigan is against the world, it gave them something to believe
Juice,
in.
man.
And it gave them like a
Yep.
chance to like fight. Like even if you were manufacturing that hate on your own, and it's all because of some stupid shit that you actually did,
They believed
they
it.
had something to fight against. Whereas Ohio State had nothing.
That's true.
And when was the last time Ohio State really had something to fight about? They won the national championship that year.
Yep.
The Ohio against the world
Ohio against the
shirts,
world.
everyone.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of put this own chip on your shoulder, and a lot of that, especially in the NFL and these high level colleges, like a lot of it is self-manufactured chip on your shoulder. Of
course.
Like you don't have an actual you made it. Like you're at Ohio State, you're a baller. You don't have anything to really worry about. You're getting cars, you're getting money, but they manufactured this hate, and it gave them something to be inspired by.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they ended up with a W on the scoreboard, and that's really all that matters, right?
Yep.
They did it.
So, so we get to sit at home this weekend, watch Michigan beat the hell out of Iowa.
Iowa.
And then,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know. I think Iowa's game plan should be is Iowa should just not run offense.
Yeah.
And they should just punt the ball every single drive
And keep
and
them
let
down
their
there.
and let their
Yes.
defense do their thing.
Yeah.
That's a
It's-
great game plan, Trey.
It's funny that the quarterback from Michigan transferred to Iowa, and now he's hurt and he can't even play.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the chances of that?
Jeez.
Stinks, man.
Yeah, Iowa. Yeah, to beat Michigan, they have to eliminate the offensive mistakes Ohio State did. Can't throw interceptions. Obviously, we saw you turn the ball over inside your own 50, let alone your own 30.
You're done.
Jeez.
Touchdown,
That's
right?
a score.
So I like that. It's kind of like the
Elite
old.
defense, elite punter. I mean, just run with
Yeah.
what you're good at.
It's kind of like the old basketball scheme where you just dribble. At,
Oh,
at the
yeah,
top
the keep
and just-
away.
Yeah. That's all you got to
What's
do.
Iowa's record?
10-2.
10-2.
Yeah.
10
only
and
2
2
lost.
with. So I don't know what's the over under at this game. Anyone
I don't
know?
know, but
I
fucking
think it's like
Michigan's
28
favored by
or 30 and a
23.
half.
Okay.
Jeez.
Taking the under.
Yeah.
I know the over and under are set so that Iowa is not supposed to score a touchdown in the game. That's what's projected. Is I think it's like projected that Iowa's supposed to score like 2 field goals, and that's
Yeah.
it.
With how
Wow.
good Michigan's defense is, I can see that too.
Well, I would say I think they're going to score a touchdown, in my opinion, because they're going to try everything, fake everything,
Yeah.
As they should.
all type of trick plays. That's another thing. We got caught by
Yeah.
their biggest pass was probably a freaking pass from the running back.
It was.
It was.
It
You
was.
know?
And again,
Playing to win.
another dude that run that what Edwards. There was videos of him earlier in the season. He's just strolling around on a golf cart, and someone's asking him about like, well, tell me about your recruiting. He's like, man, I'm gonna tell you about my recruiting. I wanted to go to Ohio State, and I was waiting, and they told me they were gonna take me, and then I'm watching the
They lied to
draft
him.
board, and then I saw Travion go, and I saw this dude go, and he said, now I'm gonna beat y'all ass, and I mean he. When they ended up breaking it out in the fourth quarter last year, who was the dude that scored twice? Him.
Killed us.
Him. Broke
Yep.
it out.
Put the
21
icing
points.
on the cake.
Crazy,
Put the
man.
dirt.
Sucks.
Hey, wow.
You know one other crazy thing too, like, and I heard Joel Klatt break this down because he and Gus were in the booth breaking it down, and they were kind of going back and forth when their center got hurt. Right? They were taking commercial break. They came back. He was still getting the cast pumped up and getting on the cart and everything. But he said, man, we were on commercial break, so the live TV play didn't even catch this. But he's like, it wasn't prompted by the DJ in the booth. It wasn't prompted by anybody else. It's just the fans in each section. They started saying, let's go Zach, let's go Zach. And then the whole crowd was going nuts. And he was like, and at that point, you know, the Michigan players on their sideline, they were deflated. They were sad because their dude got hurt. He's a senior. They're like, what a bad way for him to go out. But he said as soon as the crowd started doing that themselves, the Michigan fans, all the Michigan players stood up and you saw them just beaming with energy. They went out on the field. The whole sideline on Michigan side cleared out. What happens right after that?
Scored.
Fucking Corum. And he's going 6-5, and he ends up one
Yeah.
play right after that, and I'm like, that's
Once
it.
again, they got
That's
something to
it.
play for.
Just like that. The very next play.
Then
and even
again-
me.
Yeah, well said.
Sonny
Yeah.
Styles
Yeah.
misses an open tackle. If you watch that play, that
It hurts.
Well, wasn't on that same play. Not only did he miss the tackle, but I'm pretty sure the linebacker, what's his name? Steel Chambers.
Yeah.
Steel Chambers overread it and wasn't in his gap.
There were 2 opportunities, and he just
He
went right
he got
through.
yeah he was all confused in the mess. He fills that hole. Boom. Got the safety coming down for support. Got to make that tackle. Doesn't happen.
yeah.
That's how you get a
So
touchdown.
Sound like a true coach.
what's
over there, Cole.
next?
Yeah, so will we
Well,
play Holiday Bowl?
Yeah, honestly, the Cheez-Its Bowl. Love
Well,
that.
Bro, half the team's gone.
well, you know, let's talk about the rankings that they
Yep.
came out
Yep.
with.
Let me ask
They
you.
might get OU.
Go to the back.
Watch out.
Hey, let me ask you this, Boom, before we go to that. Let's say some craziness happens. Do
Yeah.
we even deserve to be in the top 4?
With our quarterback play, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Nope.
I would agree.
Would I love for us to be in that position? Of course.
Yeah, to get a chance to redeem
always,
ourselves.
always want to see Ohio State, be in the playoffs, have an opportunity to play in the national championship. Shit, have an opportunity to play in the freaking Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
you
word.
know.
That'd be
and-
some shit if we didn't play in that. We end up in the fucking.
and-
Well, that's what happened last year, though.
and
Yeah,
win a
true.
national championship. But it's gonna be tough. We still have an opportunity to get in the playoffs, which
Yeah.
is,
Crazy.
I don't see how. Me personally, I don't see how they put Oregon in front of us.
Not yet, right?
Well, and it was such a thin law. I mean,
Yeah,
you're talking
6 points.
Yeah.
You lost to the number 3 team. In my opinion, I think that we can beat Oregon. That's in my opinion. And if we're sitting at 5, I think we definitely get in because they're. I think, in my opinion, Bama's gonna beat Georgia.
Yeah, I agree with that too. They're coming up at the right
And
time.
and I honestly feel like Louisville has a very good chance of beating Florida State because
Jordan Trav.
their quarterback is gone. The backup,
Oh,
I don't know if he had a concussion
He got
or
hit.
what.
He got smoked.
He got smoked. So
But he came back. He came back in the game.
he came back.
Yeah.
But he's trash.
But is he worse than Kyle McCord?
That don't
Yes.
matter.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing: is I was watching, I think, one of those shows too, and they were saying basically it was Pat. They're looking for a reason not to put Florida State in because
100%.
they know
Yep.
that it's going to be tough
And-
without
and-
Jordan Travis.
and they
And
got
I
the-
like Jordan Travis is fun to watch,
He's a
man.
dog. He's good.
He is real good.
In my
So-
opinion, though, I think we could beat Florida State.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
think so,
Oh
too.
yeah.
I
100%.
think Buckeyes beat Texas. Or
I don't
Yeah.
have
Florida
any
State,
faith in Ohio
Washington.
State beating anybody.
Oh, Trent.
I mean,
Don't listen to that man.
All right, Trevor.
as a person that's not a fan, I can understand why you say that because for an outside fan, you look at Ohio State and you see that they've lost to Michigan 3 times in a row. They get in the playoffs. They haven't finished the last couple of years in the playoffs, so I can understand why you would say that.
Now let me talk out of both sides of my mouth.
Let's hear it.
Say you don't make the college football playoffs, but you get a Premier Bowl game and you win. You still only lost 1 game this year. Like
Yeah.
that's still a
But
really
that's-
successful season.
That's
but
the one
that's
game, bro.
that's not the
It's not the standard.
Ohio State way. I'm sorry.
It is right now.
If we had a loss earlier in the season, I'd rather lose to freaking
Notre
what's somebody
Dame.
who we played earlier in this
It
season.
was who did we struggle with?
I mean,
Indiana or
Oh,
who was it
yeah.
earlier?
You could say we
Struggled with a
lost.
bunch of people.
Yeah, I
You could say we
struggled
lost to
with
freaking. I don't know. I don't know
I
who we
mean,
played.
Freeman could have beat us.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Yeah.
I'd rather us lost the Notre Dame game,
Yeah.
won the Michigan game, and probably be in the picture right now.
Oh, we definitely would be.
You'd be
Yeah.
in the playoffs. 100%.
You'd be in the playoffs.
That's another thing that kind of sucks
I agree with
about losing at the end of the year. It's like when you lose earlier in the year. For instance, the year we won the national championship, we lost to freaking Virginia Tech.
Virginia
Like
Tech.
week two,
Yeah.
right?
Week 2, week 3, you have the opportunity to, keep winning. Some other teams gonna fall off, and then you gonna you have a chance of being a big one. But
Well,
That's even a bigger reason,
Yeah.
though, to make it such a big deal. To not say it's another game because of just
So-
purely where it's at in the schedule, too.
so all right, let's skip ahead to next year, right? What's your feelings on if they keep this game, the last game of the season, they play Michigan 1 week, the next week they play them in the Big Ten championship,
Yep.
and then put a possibility of playing them in the playoffs?
That would happen. They just laid it out the way it looks right now. It would have already happened. This year it would happen 3 times.
No shit.
Because
Talking about
Because of the way
no
it's going to be
division.
structured now.
Yeah, 'cause
so
next
yeah,
year-
yeah.
So my idea was like, what if this game, forget all the old heads who say this game has to be last game of the season. What if this game was the first game of the season? So then you play each other at the beginning of the season, you go all the way out, have a chance to play again in the Big Ten championship, and then
Like at least the first week of October, right?
yeah. Like imagine if that was that game would again mean something. I think.
Yeah.
I would hate to see the tradition taken away of it being the
I
last
agree.
week and
Yeah.
at noon. Like there is something to that, and it like
Definitely something
the
to it.
history and the culture in the Midwest specifically, because like the SEC, it don't matter if they're like Alabama and Auburn, it's still at least like 60 degrees down there in that game.
Yeah.
Up here, it's like you got that snow, you got the cold, like you know what I mean. So I would hate to see that taken away, but I would be interested to see your point though, like earlier in the
Dude,
season,
earlier
put
in
it
the
as a
season would be
fucking
awesome.
night game. You know what I mean? Because like the West Coast too, like it's 9 a.m. out there. They don't give a fuck about that game. But even though they did have 23 million viewers this year, active viewers at that time, but I don't know.
So that change.
That's a real possibility.
Damn.
So then does that game even become less meaningful?
Well, if you're playing best out of
Imagine,
3,
it,
it is.
imagine,
Yeah.
it, imagine we
Yeah.
just go through that. Now it's like, oh shit, got to strap up again this Saturday.
I think
Yeah.
with the elimination of divisions though next year, like it does put some like if they're about it, and as long as like Boom said, if they're paying attention, then they don't let that go by the wayside. There, in my opinion, for me, it would be like there is a little bit more pressure even then, because if you want to be one of the 2 best teams in the conference, and there's no divisions now, but you got Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA coming in, and they're like the new people, like fuck those dudes. You're not going to be one of the 2 best teams ahead of me, so you got to maintain that pressure. You know what I mean?
So yeah, imagine if this was week 1, whoever wins that game has that fucking chip on them. Whoever loses that game, the entire season, they're like, we're basically waiting for a rematch.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
then they got something to play for. Just something to think about.
Because how many total teams will be now?
Oh, like
I don't
what?
know.
16?
I don't
'Cause
know.
I think it's
16
like, what,
or-
12
But
right
also,
now?
this all depends on this. Is Oregon and Washington and any of these teams even good next year? Because
Nah,
they're about
they
to
lose their
everyone, so
quarterbacks.
It's a whole game.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, USC,
So-
UCLA, they're about to fire their coach. They don't even like him.
Yeah, you're right.
It kind of stinks to say, but
You want to get down through these championship
Yeah,
games and
let's do
Sure.
it.
give our opinions and
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
scores? All right,
Yep.
let's start out SEC championship, Alabama, Georgia. My heart's telling me,
My heart.
man, I
Hey.
want to root for Saban, and I usually hate Saban.
Yeah.
But again, after this year, I fucking hate. My number 1 is Penn State, James Franklin. Fuck that guy. Then it's Jim Harbaugh, and then it's
Damn, really?
and then it's Dabo. Yeah, because he ruined our
Damn.
parlay, dude. So screw him.
all right.
I think.
So good.
fuck the money.
And
Get
I usually
Jim
don't like
Harbaugh there.
Saban, but Saban's growing on me. I think he's getting older. He's getting a little bit more.
I
Yeah.
feel that way
Dude,
too.
I
I'm
love
growing-
it.
he's
I love
growing on
his.
me.
I love the teaching shit from Saban, bro.
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
And I love that
Dude.
he only drives his Ferrari or whatever he's got on Tuesdays. Only Tuesdays.
Right.
I didn't even know that, but I fuck with him even more now.
I think doesn't he own Ferrari dealerships or something like that?
yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
3
He owns a
of
gang
them, I
shit.
think.
Yeah, but he only drives a Ferrari on Tuesday. So.
You're right, man. Like with the,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
coaching stuff, he walked right up
But
to the
so
podium.
Yeah, I love that
And
stuff.
like, as much honestly, it doesn't help the Buckeyes if Alabama wins, obviously. But man, I'd love to see Alabama win.
Hey, I mean,
I think they
pulled
are
that
I
gonna-
shit
mean,
I think
out.
they are gonna
I
win.
think they're going to win.
If Alabama wins, I think they automatically put them at 4.
Put them in.
You
100%.
think?
100%.
I think so too.
So
Yeah.
what-
So that would kind of fuck us.
So
you know?
Georgia
They would.
stays in though.
Yeah.
If Georgia beats Alabama and they're undoubtedly in it, number 1 or whatever, and Alabama doesn't have a conversation around them, that helps us.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because again, then coming to the ACC championship, if Louisville knocks off Florida State, then the Florida State question, that conversation is over.
I mean
I don't-
that's a real possibility. I think.
Yeah.
I don't even care if Texas loses and Florida State loses. If Bama wins, forget about it for Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Like whatsoever.
There's a
So
couple
we-
scenarios like that. Like if Oregon beats Washington, Oregon's definitely in.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, some folks will say, like, it's worth considering and comparing Washington's resume and, like, well, they just got beat by a team that they had already beaten. At least they went to the conference championship. They only have that one loss. But, like, when you look at their metrics and their wins and strength of record compared to the Buckeyes, it's trash for Washington. But I still see the point, though. Like, they can't say – Buckeyes can't say they went to their conference championship game.
It's looking like we're going to be playing Louisville.
Yeah. Hey, what if Florida State loses possibly? I mean – would we play Florida State at all, just because of the higher record and the higher seating?
I like that matchup.
Yeah,
I
I
mean
do
it'd be
too.
all right,
Yeah.
and the branding is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The money's there. But
I'd like that.
Anyway, sorry. So you said Bama. You said you want to see Bama.
Yeah.
All
I think Bama.
I think Bama-
Bama's gonna win.
Hey, I think they just rolling right now. They got a dog at quarterback.
that last play against Auburn was sick. Bro.
Yeah.
Hey, statistically,
And
was sick.
that play right there, plays like that will hit the committee like, yo,
Oh,
they got it.
you know what I'm saying?
in their rivalry game. I was on the edge of my seat, and I'm thinking, dude, he was just hanging out back there. He
Vegas-
was just hanging out back there, bro. They didn't put no pressure on that boy.
Yeah, he a dog though.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a hell of an athlete. He probably
and he threw a strike.
He might not play quarterback in the NFL, but
Yeah.
he gonna play something.
And the thing
Yeah.
about him is he's gotten better every week.
Yeah, that's
He,
exactly.
He wasn't that great. The game season he was struggling, but every week he's gotten better.
He's got Saban too.
Yep.
I would be almost like if they beat Georgia, do they end up becoming the front? Are they better than Michigan?
Nah.
I'd love to see that matchup.
Yeah, that'd be a great matchup for sure. But
I just got to say this because I thought this was crazy because I didn't see it until after that play was done and they ended up winning. They calculated the odds and they said that at that point on that fourth down, Alabama had 0.1% chance of winning the game at that point.
Yeah.
And he just, like you said, he just stayed there. He didn't even have to. He was just standing.
It looked like he was
Right.
doing a drill.
Yeah.
Can you imagine betting live on a parlay?
Dude,
I
on
took
a bet?
Auburn in the third quarter. It was like plus 1,600 or some shit. I cashed out in like the fourth quarter.
Oh,
But it
Good
was,
job.
But yeah, like Auburn was like plus like it was like 1,500 in the third
Yeah.
quarter.
Wow.
They were plus 600.
I knew Bama
before
was gonna
the
come
game
back and
even.
win that game though.
Yeah.
I just knew.
You think Bama beats Georgia?
Who?
I honestly think they're going to. Yes.
Damn, we got three
Yeah.
Bamas.
I don't really. Georgia's schedule is not very good either, right?
Nah,
And we never see them play. Like
That's what I'm saying.
We
Like,
really
I'm
don't
not-
even know what they bring to the table.
No, I'm not real. I'm not real sold on Georgia, but it's the momentum. Bama has the momentum.
Yeah.
They have the leadership. They obviously saw their quarterback do what he did, and on top of that, you know, Michigan has the momentum. It's like you got to go look at once again what Cardell and them did. It was the momentum, bro. That off of the fucking Wisconsin blowout, it just kept going.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing, I think.
Yeah. Which is like what's interesting about the conversation.
We do not have momentum, by the way.
No momentum. A lot of people have been bringing up the Cardell thing about in reference to Florida State because they're like, why are you going to drop them out? Because they still are loaded. Like they still have a ton of offensive talent. Like they could go in with a backup quarterback and win. I mean, they beat Florida, which Florida's not great,
trash.
but it's still a rivalry game, and they still have their backs
At
up against the
Florida.
wall at
Yeah,
Florida.
Florida. Better than
Yeah.
what we did.
Yeah.
all right, let's go Florida State, Louisville.
Hey, sorry. I just think
okay,
because
okay.
they play that game in Atlanta, Georgia's winning. Florida State, Louisville.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Man, dude,
Built by storms.
I love
Yeah.
Built by Storms. I love
Yeah.
the culture down there.
Shout
but
out
man,
Coach Storms.
And, you know, it was cool while we were at Pitt, you know, we're seeing Jordan Travis's dad go up there and to have that injury go down was like low-key, like kind of heartbreaking. 'Cause I was
Very
like-
heartbreaking,
It was
very.
like, it's heartbreaking. But, man, like, if Florida State, I think they'll win this game, but are they one of the best teams that you can put into this playoff? No.
But they can't keep them out, though.
Unfortunately, no.
Like I wouldn't feel good about putting them in because this is just like the same shit with Notre Dame a few years ago. Whenever they put Notre Dame in, and then they get absolutely fucking wrecked.
they
It's
got
just
wrecked.
like
52-3.
yeah, and everyone knows that's coming, but you put them in because they were undefeated and blah blah
You
blah.
just
So
ain't supposed to say nothing about it.
yeah, so you know what? You know, I'm still gonna root. I'm taking Florida State.
I think Florida State wins, but it's like no more than like one score, right? Or like 10 points or something. I think it's less than 10
Better
points.
be a defensive game.
Yeah,
You know.
I think Florida State's going to kick the shit out of Louisville.
really.
Louisville did not look good last week.
Where did
I
they
think
play
they're
this
gonna
game
bounce
at?
back. Charlotte, North Carolina.
At the
Yep.
Panther Stadium.
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Didn't
Yeah.
Louisville give somebody a bunch of problems though?
They beat Notre Dame.
That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew they had
like
something
Rus-
that.
That ain't
like-
saying much though.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
Let's-
think
let's-
Louisville might have it
Yeah.
in them to get it.
You might be right. I mean, All-State, if they got their shit together, they're saying Louisville got less than 1% chance, which is kind of crazy. But anyway,
I think Louisville, because the NCAA, they're going to do anything to keep Florida State out.
I would kind of agree with that, Trey.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm riding with Coach Storms. I don't
Coach
think it's
State.
going to be close.
All right. Game of the week: Michigan versus Iowa.
I don't even think we have to talk about this.
Nah,
Nope.
I
next.
told you, if Iowa sticks to that game plan,
What
Do you
if
think
they
they have
just
a
take
chance?
deep
Yeah.
shots, bro? Just fake punts and
Do you
shit.
think they'll cover the spread?
No.
What's the
what's
spread?
What is the spread?
23 fucking points?
Oh, they covering that.
If
Really?
they just play defense.
I thought you
I'm
meant
sorry.
Iowa.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Iowa.
I don't know why I'm thinking about the over. I'm thinking you saying the over is 23. I'm about to say yeah, they definitely.
Hey, I'm just saying, as a college football fan, as like a low-key degenerate, the Iowa-Nebraska
You
game
can't not
under
talk about it.
was absolutely electric if you had the under. Like, I had it, and it literally came down to, like, basically, like, the last 2 possessions of that game where basically if they were about to go into overtime or score or anything, if they would have got a touchdown, it crushed it, but it didn't happen. It was electric.
It was
So,
lowest in history.
It was
ever.
awesome. It was the most boring, terrible game of all time, and it was great.
It's horrible.
Did you see the guy in the stands that was wearing a shirt that said punts?
Punts. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, I don't really even care about this game, but the Oklahoma State versus Texas.
It's irrelevant.
It is.
Yep.
It's a bad matchup for Oklahoma State. Texas is going to beat them.
Yep. I would love to see Texas just fumble the bag though. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma State and round with the are they the
You're,
Cowboys?
you're going to
Cowboys.
root against your
The mullet?
future quarterback?
Previous quarterback.
No, Arch Manning.
Oh, Archie.
Yeah.
Good point, baby.
No, I don't know.
He ain't leaving Texas.
Nah.
They
He
pay
ain't
wor-
gonna
they
play
pay worse.
anyway.
Yeah,
He's not playing.
yeah.
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 All right. This is the
Is
game
he
I'm most.
third on the depth chart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I heard the backup is
He's
transferring
nice.
too.
Yeah, he's nice.
Dude, High
That's-
State
he
should get
just
him.
moved
Yeah.
up there.
I heard, but I've been hearing that.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out of the woodwork, basically saying.
Arkansas's quarterback.
People got to move
Yep.
around.
Arkansas State or Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Think about
Washington
this. The
State.
one
Washington
thing
State's
we've
quarterback.
proven is
Washington State.
we can recruit wideouts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a QB, and I mean,
But
I hope they
all right,
don't-
all
I
right.
hope they
So
don't stop coming.
let's talk about that. We get all these receivers, but do we use them?
well, that's what I mean. But a QB that can actually like
Yeah, true.
spin the thing might be like, yo,
You need both.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, Aaron Nolan.
I
yeah.
love-
We need a dual threat
Yeah.
quarterback.
He's
dude.
got a great name too.
What's
Yeah.
the kid's name? I forget already. He came from South Dakota. He won like 3 state titles there, and he's already on the roster.
Keinholz or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with him?
Nah,
Like,
who
hey,
knows?
and
What'd you say? What's his last name?
I don't know how to say
Give
it.
that boy
He
some
a hell of an
hormones.
athlete. I know that.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
He's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, give him some hormones. Get that boy big.
All right.
Let's go.
So Kyle was giving a spirit finger.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to we're gonna go, and we're back in the Secret Cigar Room Lounge. All right, boom. Are we gonna go like a final thought? What do you think?
We
Cole?
got
Here
one
we
more
go.
game.
All right,
We
go
got
ahead,
one more
go
game,
ahead,
and
go
this
ahead.
is
Hey, and this is tomorrow night.
and this is tomorrow night. This is like the best game
They're sharing the
for
viewership.
this stuff that I'm excited to watch is Oregon Washington Pac-12 championship.
Oh, I like that game.
Everybody's got to
The
come at it.
rematch
What's happening
and
here?
dude, I think this is going to be another great game, just like the first one.
Except
Honestly,
they're like 10-point favorites now.
Dude,
Yeah.
both
like-
those quarterbacks are legit.
so yeah, Oregon
I
is
mean,
ranked.
old as hell.
Yeah, Oregon is 9.5-point favorites against
Yeah.
Washington.
They
right
play
now.
this game in Vegas.
I would take
too.
that spread
Yep.
all day.
Yep.
100%. Wait,
Yep.
you taking Washington to cover?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dude, but going back to the first game, I think it's just Oregon was like kind of too aggressive.
They went for
were-
it, what, like 3 times on
Oh
fourth
yeah,
down, and they didn't get none of
yeah,
them.
Dan Lanning, one of those points.
I respect, but yeah, you lost your shit.
I think Oregon's got that juice to them right now too. Like they
Yeah.
got like something to them,
They got the momentum now.
and I like them, so I'm taking Oregon.
I am too.
Washington.
I like
Michael,
I'd take
Michael
Washington.
Penix Jr.
I like
He's a
Washington.
dog, bro.
Dog.
I fuck
Dog,
with
yeah.
him.
I think
and,
they
but-
got-
and like Bo Nick's been the quarterback since Obama.
They got
was
some
alive.
juice. They got some juice right now too, man.
Yeah.
I just feel like they it's their time. Oregon has had their time. You know,
I like Michael Penix when he played for Indiana.
Bro,
Yeah,
in case
he was
everybody's
nice.
He was like,
"Who is
I think
this
he was a
dude?"
freshman or something. He was balling against us then,
yeah.
which was a long time ago.
Bro.
I just think it would be interesting to see Oregon match up against Georgia. Like, say Oregon wins, they get in at 4 or whatever, right? Even if they were to get up to 3 at whatever point, like with whatever shakes out, it'd be cool to see them against Georgia just because that's where Dan Lanning, Oregon's head coach, came from. He was under Kirby. He's getting them right. And, you know, Bo Nix, he was an SEC guy before being in Oregon. I just think that'd be a cool matchup, but I don't know if it happens.
What's your guys' thoughts on how Colorado moves forward? Because obviously Dion didn't finish as strong as I think probably all of us.
There's a lot of guys leaving there, too, right now.
So
I mean,
didn't
they're a
know.
mess right now.
He
Yeah.
was named Sports Illustrated guy, like sports figure of the year.
I mean, he definitely brought the.
I mean, at the end of the day, they won 1 game last year.
what they win?
They
this
won
year?
4 this year.
Okay.
He's definitely changed the culture there. He's brought so much attention to Colorado. He's given them a bigger fan base. Now he just has to figure everything out on the field. You know,
He just needs some dudes.
yeah, which is over time. I'm not saying it's gonna happen next year. It might take 3-4 years, maybe even 5 years. You know, when you go to a program like that that's been down for so long and haven't been good, and they probably haven't been recruiting guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna take some time. You know, so give it some time. I think they'll be in the picture.
Yeah.
Won't
They'll
say
at
a
least be-
contender.
They'll be bold eligible at
Yeah,
least next
yeah.
year. And I mean, it was a win for
Yeah.
them. Like
Oh, yeah,
them
for sure.
overall.
Yeah, sold out plenty of games.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they almost won 5 games too. If they don't give up that huge comeback win,
Yeah.
it's 5 games.
I mean, most of the games were like that.
Yeah,
They were up
100%.
Yeah.
big time. You know. Now, is it the players? Is it the defensive coordinator? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess they got some stuff
Yeah.
to figure out too.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect them to be amazing next year, but better than this year.
But they'll be in
for
a
sure.
bowl probably next year.
That program's going to keep getting incrementally better over time.
Alongside the development that you guys are saying he's going to give that program, which I agree is going to continue to go, it's kind of hard to predict the coaching carousel next year, 2 years, 3 years from now. I mean, do you think that's where he ends his collegiate coaching career, though? Like, is he going to make is he going
No.
SEC? Is he
No.
going Big
Do you
Ten
think
after
he's
that? What's
ends
he
up
doing?
somewhere bigger than that even?
You
Or is
never
it-
know with Prime. You know, could he go to the NFL? I know he always says he doesn't want to go to the NFL, but you know, if somebody offers you $100 million, how can you turn that down?
I mean, I can see him staying there until basically they all get tired of him, because he has basically full control right now. Why would he go anywhere else where
Yeah.
the
sure,
program might
for
be bigger,
sure.
but the support's not there?
Just not yet. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's a huge thing
100%.
to think about.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the Steelers real quick. Just
Okay.
'Cause they
just
got-
Yeah.
because now Matt Canada's fired and we gonna start balling. Shout out, just want to let you know, boom.
Hey, talk about that dancing you was posting. When you got fired.
Do y'all go get Le'Veon?
yeah, right. Oh, jeez. All right. Anything else? We got like a final thought, just like to Buckeye Nation in general, or boom. or,
I guess I would say Buckeye Nation. I know it's not easy to hear. Be patient, but be patient. We're gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna get the guys back on track. We will beat Michigan next year. If they don't do it, I'm gonna have to suit back up. Bring some of my guys back. We're gonna have to suit up and go get the job done. But,
Tell Beanies have to start coming out here 3 days a week
yeah,
instead of
yeah. It's gonna have to be some changes. We're gonna have to figure it out. You know, locker room, coaches, players. We got to stop letting the guys from Ohio get out of Ohio, especially the guys that's going to Michigan. You know, they can't be coming back to Columbus talking about I got 3 wins, I got 4 wins, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get our guys in Ohio, keep them, and you know, we're gonna figure it out.
That seems
Go
to
Bucks.
That seems to be the biggest thing, is letting the guys get out of here.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
And I understand, you know, Ohio State recruits nationally, and they want all the 5 stars. But as we could see, you know, a lot of 5 stars come here and they don't pan out. You know, James Laurinaitis, he was a 3-star. I think Malcolm Jenkins, he was a 2-star. You know, so it comes down to coaching too. Develop your guys. You know what I'm saying? You make
Build
them to the
some
players.
killers.
Yeah, build them up. You know, it's not gonna happen overnight. You know, but if you get a guy in a good program, obviously, you know, he's going to get better if the coaching is good. You know, we got some 5-star guys who are staying the same. You know, so
Were you a 5-star?
no, I was a 4-star.
I think you're a 5-star.
Thank you. And if you ask me, I don't think they should have stars coming out of high school because a lot of guys, there's been guys that came to school with me that were 5-stars who never touched the field. There were guys who are 2-stars who were Hall of Famers now, you know? So I think you can't just look at a guy and say, oh, he's a 5-star. Oh, his film is crazy. Who's this guy playing against?
There you go.
Your 5-star has to have a 2-star work ethic. Basically.
Mentality.
Yep.
Yeah, got to be hungry.
Yeah.
You can't be out here, oh, I need $5,000 just to come on a visit. Oh, I need $1 million just to come there. We don't want those guys.
The 3 to 4 that is willing to work and with good coaching, you could build
I had
unbelievable
I
programs.
tell you
out of
what,
that.
I had a chip on my shoulder. You
Hell
know?
yeah.
I had a couple 5-stars. I had Mr. Ohio come in with me. So you think I wasn't, you know, on edge to get on the field and wasn't hungry and wasn't pushing those guys? Come on.
Boom, I only started 4 games my senior year. I've always been the 6th man. I always work like that. Guys that are like that, that's just how they are. And I've been like that my entire life. And so, like, you get guys that come in like that, like, it's going to feel different if you're from Ohio and you're a 3 or 4 star.
Yeah.
And you can't wait to be coached by Brian Hartline or James Laurinaitis, guys that get it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's a different whole culture just even saying that out loud.
Yep.
So I think that's a good way to cut it.
No, 100%.
Cut it.
All right. That's the Boom Squad. I'm your boy, Corey G. And that is Daniel Boom Herron.
See y'all next week.
Share with all your friends. We out.